Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thank you for those who have joined, despite the session was delayed. Actually, I was traveling. I came back to my center just 15-20 minutes ago, or maybe half an hour ago, and then I saw that there was some lack of resources, so we had to wait a little bit. But I'm very, very happy that some devotees have joined despite all kinds of inconveniences and last minute changes here and there. Sometimes last minute changes are unavoidable. So I was traveling the whole day, so I have not been able to catch up with the understanding which chapter has to be read today. Can someone remind me which chapter of Bhagavad Gita has to be read today? Can someone remind me? 14? Okay, does everybody agree to 14 or is there any difference of opinion? Okay, already difference of opinion. 15. So now what to go? 14, 14, 14, 115. Okay, let me see chapter number 14. But before that, we have to chant the Mangalacharan. Okay. Some chat messages are coming. Okay, I'm going with chapter 14 because most of the devotees are saying chapter 14. Very nice chapter. Let's start. So I will share my screen. But before that, Mangalacharan, of course. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादां सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वत देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। So Let's start with chapter number 15. 14, not 15. Hope you're all able to see my screen. Now, this is called going to advanced view. And I will select only the verse text. I don't want the synonyms. I don't want translation. Neither have I purport. Okay. Shri Bhagavan परम भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमं यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिम् इतो गताः इदं ज्ञानम् उपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यम् आगताः सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलये न व्यथन्ति च मम योनिर्महद्ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहं संभवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति यः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहमबीजप्रदः पिता सत्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृतिसम्भवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनम् अव्ययम् तत्र सत्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकम् अनामयम् सुखसंगेन बध्नाति ज्ञानसंगेन चानघ रजो रागात्मकं विद्धि तृष्णसंग समुद्भवं तन्निबध्नन्ति कौन्तेय तं निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्म संगेन देहिनम् तमस्त्व अज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिस्तन्निबध्नाति भारत सत्वं सुखे संजयति रजः कर्मणि भारत ज्ञानम् आवृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे संजयत्युत रजस्तमश्चाभिभूया सत्वं भवति भारत रजः सत्वं तमश्चैव तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्वम् इत्युत लोभः प्रवृत्तिरारम्भः कर्मणाम् अशमः स्पृहा रजस्य एतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे भरतर्षभा अप्रकाशो प्रवृत्तिश्च प्रमादो मोह एव च तमस्य एतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे कुरु नन्दन यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तदोत्तमविदां लोकान् अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते रजसी प्रलयं गत्वा कर्मसङ्गीषु जायते तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढयोनिषु जायते कर्मणः सुकृतास्याहुः सात्विकं निर्मलं फलं रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम् अज्ञानं तमसः फलं सत्त्वात् संजायते ज्ञानं रजसो लोभ एव च प्रमाद मोहौ तमसो भवतो ज्ञानमेव च ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसः जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसः नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं यदा दृष्टानुपश्यति गुणेभ्यः च परं वेत्ति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति गुणान् एतान् अतीत्य त्रीन् देहि देह समुद्भवान् जन्म मृत्यु जरा दुःखे विमुक्तो मृतमश्नुते अर्जुन उवाच कैर्लिङ्गे स्त्रीन् गुणान् एतान् अतीतो भवति प्रभो किम् आचारः कथं चिन्त्यैतां त्रीन् गुणान् अतिवर्तते श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रकाशं च प्रवृत्तिं च मोहमेव च पाण्डव न द्वेष्टि सम्प्रवृत्तानि न निवृत्तानि काङ्क्षति उदासीन वदासीनो गुणैर्यो न विचालयते गुणा वर्तन्त इत्येवं यो वतिष्ठति नेङ्गते समदुःखः सुखः स्वस्थः समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः तुल्यप्रिया प्रियो धीरस्तुल्यनिन्दात्मसंस्तुतिः मानपमानयोस्तुल्यो मित्रादि पक्षयोः सर्वारंभ परित्यागी गुणातीतः स उच्यते मां च यो व्याभिचारेण भक्ति योगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्य वयस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्य कांतिकस्य च हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, again, I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge. The best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained supreme perfection. Text number 2. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. The total material substance, called Brahman, is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. So this Brahman is also sometimes called as Mahat Tattva. The total cause of the total cosmic manifestation is called as Mahat Tattva. Now, this Mahat Tattva is impregnated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his glance. And when Krishna glances at the Mahat Tattva which also contains the three modes of material nature, by the glance of Krishna or Mahavishnu to be specific, it gets agitated. And in that glance, why is it called as impregnation? Because many souls via the glance of Krishna enter the material nature. And because the three modes of material nature have also been agitated, so they situate themselves accordingly. Every day when the Brahma goes to sleep, can someone tell me, this is from the second session of Gita course, also the first session of Gita course, time and energy of Lord. Can someone tell me the length of one day of Brahma? Can someone tell? One day of Brahma. If you don't know the exact figure, you can at least tell an approximation. 4.3 billion years. 4,32,000, 4 billion. 3 answers, 3 difference of opinion. Okay, but Abhishek Mishra is saying night is also the same duration. 4,32,000 years. 432 billion into 1,000 years. My God, so much difference of opinion. Can someone give me a concluding answer, please? You can use your internet to find out. So anyways, you find out, and that much time is the day of Brahma, and that much time is the night of Brahma. And when Brahma goes to sleep, the entire creation is annihilated. There are 2 kinds of annihilation. One is called partial annihilation. One is called as complete annihilation. Complete annihilation only happens when Brahma has finished his 100 years, and then along with Brahma, okay, I think we have got our answer. It's 4.3 billion millions. Oh, millions and billions, both are there. My God. Are you talking about the Brahma? Again, 14 Manvantara and 15 Sandhya. Okay. Let's 4.32 billion years. Thank you. This is the right answer. Many of you had given the right answer, but this last answer is accepted. So 4.32 billion years. That is the day of Brahma, and similar is the night of Brahma. So the partial annihilation, the upper planetary systems are not destroyed. However, all the souls which are there in the universe, they come and they reside in the body of Mahavishnu. And in complete annihilation, the whole cosmic structure is destroyed. However, when the Brahma wakes up next day, so he again goes through the same process of trying to find out who he is and how the creation has begun, and then he again does tapasya, and then again, the living entities, the point at which they had stopped their activities, with the same consciousness, with the same karmic background, they again reappear in the material universe, either through Brahma or through the sons of Brahma. So when Krishna is looking at the material nature, at that time he is impregnating these sleeping souls. There are many souls dormant in the body of Mahavishnu. So when Mahavishnu will glance, then all these souls through his glance will get impregnated in the material nature. And that glance is called as Shambhu. Shambhu Tattva. So when they are impregnated, then based on the karmic reactions which they had, based on the inclinations which they had, based on the consciousness which they had, desires which they had, under the jurisdiction of Brahma, they are given a suitable body. So souls are waiting, the body is given by the secondary creator of Brahma. So that is the way things are being done. And this Mahat Tattva is sometimes also called as Brahman. And the Brahman, Krishna is telling in the text 3, the total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and that it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings who son of Bharata. Smaller explanation again I will give. The scorpion goes and lays its eggs often in the mounds of rice. So when these baby scorpions, when they come out of the rice, it appears that the scorpion is coming from the rice. So rice is the source of scorpions. However, that is not the case. It is the mother scorpion which goes and lays its eggs, and then the scorpions come. So similarly, it is Krishna who is the seed-giving father, and by whom the birth of living entities is possible. However, to an untrained eye, it will appear that birth is happening simply by the interaction of the material elements under the material nature. This understanding or logic is called as Vrishchik Tandula Nyaya. Is it the same Brahman as Brahma Jyoti? No. Text number 4. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. So if somebody who doesn't know this principle will always think that, okay, I just combined this seed with that seed and then this kind of rice came out. No. It is not by the combination of material elements that birth takes place. Life comes from life. And the seed-giving father is Krishna. So just like an ignorant person will say that, oh, all these scorpions are coming out of rice. So similarly, an ignorant person will say that material nature gives birth, or birth is made possible by the material nature. But the answer is no. Krishna is the seed-giving father. Without the father, there is no possibility of birth. Material nature consists of goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with the nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. O sinless one, the mode of goodness being purer than the others is illuminating and frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode of goodness become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, in the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness is born of ignorance, is delusion, and all embodied living entities. Of all embodied living entities. The result of this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Have I explained how mode of happiness is also conditioning or a condition by the sense of happiness and knowledge? Mode of goodness. Can someone explain how this also is a conditioning? We understand mode of passion is a conditioning. Madness, indolence, and sleep is a conditioning. How sense of happiness and knowledge is also conditioning? Can someone try to explain? Either through message or through, you can raise your hand. So it results in good action. So how is that a conditioning? Okay, I will explain. See, this mode of goodness is also conditioning because in mode of goodness, a person like the scientists, philosophers, intellectuals who are, okay, constant chat messages are coming. It's difficult for me to focus. And unless the action is a karma, we have to take the fruit of our action. Mode of goodness is also a conditioning because it conditions you by a sense of happiness and knowledge. First of all, these so-called scientists, doctors, philosophers, engineers, they have that knowledge. And they're a little bit proud of that knowledge. Oh, I'm such a professor. I'm such a great Nobel laureate, or I'm such a great IAS officer, or I'm such a great XYZ. So this is called as a conditioning. And it is not that the knowledge which they have is absolutely useless. It is with the help of that knowledge, they have uplifted their material circumstances or their material lifestyle also. So that knowledge is not only making them a little bit proud, but at the same time, it is conditioning them into a sense of happiness also. Now, such people, they have the knowledge. They may be little pious also. They may engage in sacrifices also. They may know what to do, what not to do, and they may not be leading a sinful life also. They will not lead a sinful life because they are in the mode of goodness. However, they have the pride aspect there. And because of this conditioning, they feel a sense of, what Krishna says? Knowledge. That they have a lot of knowledge. And because they have uplifted their material circumstances by the fruits of those knowledge, so they feel a sense of happiness also. So because of this conditioning of happiness and knowledge, they have become a little comfortable in the material world. They don't want to leave the material world also. That is the problem. That is how mode of goodness conditions us. It requires only mode of transcendental goodness to understand that mode of goodness is actually something really bad because it forces you to stay. Most of the Indians are in the mode of goodness. You go to them with the Bhagavad Gita, oh, I already have. Last year only I took. My grandfather has been studying Bhagavad Gita. One of my students used to tell me, my father has been commenting on the Bhagavad Gita. I come from such a family. No doubt you come from such a family, but they are conditioned by that knowledge. Somebody in the family has, so they are in that kind of, they have that conditioning of happiness and knowledge. Especially the people, upper class people, they have already met both their ends in life, and they have nice facilities and nice amenities, and they have substantial material knowledge also. So they will always think that I have everything in life. Although there is, in the core of the heart, deep within, there is intense loneliness and they are starving spiritually, but still, that is the conditioning. Especially those kind of people who are not spiritual, but who like to visit temple once in a month. They would like to do some charity. They would want to help everybody. They would engage in all kinds of philanthropism. And they have a helping nature. But if you tell them about Krishna, they will, I know about Krishna. Krishna is God. So it is very difficult to preach to such people because they are conditioned. They can never surrender to Krishna because they are not hankering for anything. Neither has the material nature made a pulp out of them because they are not leading a sinful life also. So therefore, this is called mode of goodness, and this is conditioning. I hope I have been able to understand. I've been able to make you understand. Okay, I will not see constantly the chat messages. I'll see towards the end now. Okay. O son of Bharat, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion condition one to fruitive reaction, and ignorance covers one's knowledge and binds one to madness. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata, sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and other times ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always a competition for supremacy. The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. That means there are 9 gates in the body: eyes, ears, nostrils, mouth, 7, and then genitals and rectum, 8 and 9. So when you have the proper knowledge how to use all these 9 holes, or what to do with these 9 holes, 9 gates of this body, and what not to do with these 9 gates of body, then you are said to be illuminated by the light of knowledge. Then you can stay in mode of goodness. O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptom of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. Very good. When there is when one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. The result of pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness. But the action done in the mode of passion results in misery. An action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance develops foolishness, madness, and illusion. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets, Those in the mode of passion remain on or live on the earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of ignorance goes down to the hellish worlds. Adho gacchanti tamasa. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. Very, very important point. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows that the Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. So happiness is only possible when one transcends the modes of material nature. And the easiest way and the only way to transcend the mode of material nature is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Arjuna inquired, "O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? And what is his behavior? And how does he transcend the modes of nature?" Krishna will answer these questions. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion, and when they are present, or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all reactions of material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, and who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature." Now, how to transcend the modes of material nature? One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. This is a very, very famous verse. If devotees want, they can learn it. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. They come at the level of Brahman. And then Krishna says, "I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman." Impersonal Brahman means Brahmajyoti, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional possession of the ultimate happiness. Now, many people say Brahmajyoti is the highest, or impersonal Brahman is the highest. Krishna is saying that I am the basis of that impersonal Brahman. Because I am there, that's why this impersonal Brahman is there. Otherwise, there is no scope of even Brahman existence. So with this, we finish the discussion, brief discussion of chapter number 14. Next week, we'll do chapter number 15. Now, what should we do next? I'm looking for proposals. Should we read a Prabhupada book, or should we have some question and answers and end at 9:15, 9:20? What is the opinion? Option A, question and answers. Option B, book reading. Option C, no, there's no option C. Option A and option B. Can you please type and let me know? What do devotees want? Okay, one vote, book reading. Question and answers. Okay. Yeah, I look tired because whole day I've been traveling. I went to another ISKCON temple there was a leadership meeting. So I was supposed to go there. We had some agenda. We had some intense discussions. And I met some of the best people whom I have met in my life till now. I met one sannyasi, one Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vigyan Goswami Maharaj, and one person whose name is Patri Prabhu, an amazing personality. I've never seen such a person. So, and then we had to drive back all the way. So yeah, I'm a little tired, but okay, let's see what the people have to say. Book reading. Question and answers. Book reading 3. Question and answer only 2 votes. Book reading 4 votes. So we'll go with book reading. But in case if you want to do book reading, then you have to be very, very sure that nobody has any question to ask. I think we should give chance to those people who have said question. Nagesh Prabhu and Shashi Mataji. If you have any question, please raise your hand. We'll take that first. Nagesh Prabhu and Shashi Mataji. Shashi Mataji. Shashi Pandey Mataji. Nagesh Prabhu has a question. Okay. Nagesh Prabhu, I have requested you to unmute yourself. You can kindly unmute yourself and ask your question, or if you want to type, you can type also. Please unmute yourself. Yes, Nagesh Prabhu. You have to speak loud. Yes, I can hear you, Nagesh Prabhu.
See, nobody has seen life after death. Nobody has come back after death. Then why should be so serious about what happens after death?
Did you see your great-grandfather?
No.
That means your great-grandfather was a monkey?
No idea.
That means your great-grandfather did not exist. Your grandfather came from a banyan tree. If I speak like this, how do you feel?
No idea.
No, what do you mean, no idea? You have to give me some answer. You're making a strong statement that nobody has seen. First of all, nobody has seen is a very, very strong statement. Nobody has seen, that means you have talked to the 7.2 billion people on this planet, and each and everyone has confirmed to you that yes, nobody has seen life after death. Scientifically speaking, you have made a non-scientific statement. Did you really go and talk with every person in the world?
No.
And they confirmed to you that nobody has seen life after death? Then how can you make such a statement? I am sitting here, I can tell you, I have seen. Then what will you say?
Yeah, that's great.
See, it's not about our tiny experience, Nagesh Prabhu. Both you and me, we have a tiny experience. We always feel that whatever we have understood, that much is life. No. Now, just like, take this argument, you never saw your great-grandfather. Does it mean that the great-grandfather doesn't exist? He was there. That's why you are there, and your father is there, and your grandfather was there. Similarly, there are many things which we don't see. It doesn't mean that that does not exist. It is not about our tiny brains and our tiny experiences. I often give another example, that if our mother doesn't tell us who is our father, will we ever be able to find out who is our father? No. So we have to somewhere, from some place or the other, take an information and trust it, have faith in it, and work with it. Actually seeing in our daily life on a day-to-day basis, we make all decisions based on faith. We blindly take information from various places and go with it. Be it the weather report, or be it the Wikipedia, or whatever. Whatever is written in the Wikipedia, did anybody go and check? Whatever results which Google gives, does anybody go and check? Whatever The government tells you, do you go and check? No. But you trust it. People tell you that coronavirus is such and such. You trust it. So why not we trust the Bhagavad Gita? We are trusting the crap newspapers. We are trusting the Wikipedia, which people like you and me can also edit. We are trusting all different kinds of sources, but we are not ready to trust the Bhagavad Gita. This is our misfortune, Nagesh Prabhu. We are ready to trust everything except God. And therefore we make these statements that I have never seen my great grandfather, so I believe he doesn't exist. First of all, this understanding that I have not seen, so it does not exist, is also false. There are so many things, Nagesh Prabhu, which you cannot see. I can prove, at least I can tell 5-6 things right now which you cannot see. Do you wear spectacles, Nagesh Prabhu?
Yes.
You remove your spectacles. Will there be something which you will not be able to see? Obviously. That's why you wear spectacles. So without spectacles, there are so many things which you cannot see. Does this mean that it does not exist? Even for hypothetical discussion matter, if we agree that chalo, there is no life after death, just consider what we are proposing. We are proposing people to read the Bhagavad Gita. We are proposing people to do mantra meditation every day, chanting fixed number of rounds. We are proposing people to stop meat eating, gambling, stop illicit sex, and stop intoxication. We are proposing people to take prasad, sing, and dance. Even if
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
The voice is not clear, Prabhuji. There's some disturbance.
Okay, 1 second. Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going with the hypothetical proposal which Nagesh Prabhu is making, that let's say there is no life after death. So what we are leading a life which is full of singing. We are proposing people to lead a life of singing, dancing, reading of the Bhagavad Gita, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is not a bad life. This is a good life. This is a very, very pious life. This is a very, very non-harming kind of life. There's no loss in living in this way. However, Nagesh Prabhu, if you come to know that there is a life after death, and if you have not followed all this, then imagine what your condition will be. You'll be standing in front of Yamaraj, and you'll be scheduled to go in some horrible hellish planetary systems, which the Bhagavatam says in the 5th canto. And then there is no turning back. For millions and billions of years, you are lost in the 8.4 million species of life. If you don't believe that there is a life after death, still, if you lead a Krishna conscious life, there is no harm. But if there is a life after death, then you are doomed. So in either case, you should take to Krishna consciousness. Because there is no harm in this. And if at all there is a chance that there is life after death, then you are benefited eternally. Does this hypothetical agreement sound logical to you, Nagesh Prabhu?
Yes, I fully agree with you. The latter part, everything, I fully agree with you. There is, and I believe in Bhagavad Gita. I read Bhagavad Gita. I practice everything. Now I am convinced that your last part of what Guruji has spoken. I appreciate that and I agree with you.
Yes. Because you are intelligent, you are agreeing. And I know you asked this question just for the benefit of everybody. There are many people who are having doubts. I know you asked this, just like Arjuna was asking for the whole world. You are asking for all the students here. I know your intention. Thank you very much, Nagesh. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. I am educated.
Okay, Shashi Pandey Mataji, do you have a question? You raised your hand. Shashi Pandey Mataji.
Prabhuji, Mataji has posted question in the chat.
Post ho gaya kya? Okay, sorry. So there is a voice setting here. I think I'm missing this setting in most of the sessions. That's why people are telling. Okay, next time onwards, I'll make this setting. Okay, Shashi Pandey Mataji is asking, Bhakti, Gyan and Karma, all are important in this world. Then how Bhakti is superior, Gyan, Karma, to Gyan and Karma, Prabhuji? Shashi Pandey Mataji. And this is a good question, but this question should have come a little earlier. But still, I will explain. Simply by performing karma, first of all, we should understand what is the goal of life. The goal of life is to come out of the cycle of birth and death and go back home, back to Godhead. Entrance, suppose if somebody wants to come to my house, then they have to follow the rules and regulations which I have set in my house. My first rule is that if somebody wants to come to my house, they have to open the slippers out and then come. If somebody doesn't follow this, then they cannot come in my house. Similarly, the spiritual world belongs to Krishna. The Vaikuntha planets, they belong to Krishna. Why? Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. He says that I am the Maheshwar, I am the owner of Sarvalok, not just material world, but also of the spiritual world. No demigod, no Brahma, Shiva, or Indra, Chandra can speak like this. So he says, what does he say? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijani priyosi mehe. So there are many such statements. Krishna is saying that only by devotional service, bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanchashyami tattvataha. Krishna says only through devotional service one can approach me. Only via devotional service one can understand me. One has to surrender unto me. Now what does surrender mean? Surrender is not jnana and karma. Surrender means bhakti. And then Krishna is ordering everybody, always think of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, worship me. By doing this, you will surely come to me. I promise you, because you are my very dear friend. So these are the statements which Krishna is making. Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Krishna is saying these three modes of material nature. We are discussing these three modes of material nature also in this chapter, chapter number 14, sorry. The three modes of this divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is very difficult to overcome. Whether you are a jnani or whether you are a karmi or whether you are a yogi, whatever it is very difficult to overcome. However, Devi Hiesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mam Eva Ye Prapadyante. But those who surrender only to me, Mam Eva Ye Prapadyante, Maya Metam Tarantite. They very easily cross over this Maya. Also, I'll give you many shlokas. Just a sec. What is that shloka? Samudhartha. I just remember one word of that sloka. Samudhartha. Samudhartha. Just see this verse. ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि संन्यास मत्परः अनन्येवै अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषाम् अहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्यु संसार सागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशित चेतसाम्. Krishna is clearly telling those who worship me, Jnanis, Karmis, Yogis will not worship. Giving up all their activities unto me and devoted unto me without deviation means a bhakta. Engaged in devotional service means bhakti. Always meditating upon me also means bhakti. Having fixed their minds upon me means bhakti. O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from this ocean of birth and death. This is a special favor. You can say Krishna is partial also to some degree. Actually, Krishna is not partial, but this is his special mercy on the devotees. Krishna has not said this for karmis, Krishna has not said this for jnanis, Krishna has not said this for yogis, but he has promised this only for the devotees, bhaktas. So, oh, you are not able to see my screen. I'm just talking to myself. I'll show you the verse. Here is the verse. This is 12.6.7. Krishna says here, but those who worship me, I'll post it in the chat section and then I'll stop it. So those who worship me, so those who are bhakti yogis or devotees of Krishna, they have some special privilege. And why Krishna gives this special privilege? Because please understand, those who are karmis, they are not working for the satisfaction of Krishna. They want to satisfy their own senses. They want to go to the higher planetary systems. Those who are jnanis, they are mental speculators. They are hovering on the mental platform. This, that, this, that. Simply they are analyzing, speculating. Yogis. A yogi is not working for the satisfaction of Krishna. He wants mystic powers. And he wants to show these mystic powers to people and gain some cheap reputation. You Ganga Sagar Mela is coming, you go to Ganga Sagar Mela, you'll see so many Babas and yogis. The problem is these karmis, jnanis and yogis, they are not working strictly for the satisfaction of Krishna. They have their own agenda, they have their own motive. Therefore, they cannot go back home, back to Godhead. Because all this karma, all this jnana, all this yoga is going to get finished with the death. And all this karma, jnana and yoga is not going to help anyone at the time of death. No matter what you are, what big professor you are, or what big doctor you are, or collector you are, at the time of death, you are a big zero. In Bengali, they say, bhajan karo, sadhan karo, marte jaan le hoy. Whatever you have done, it will be tested at the time of death. Only bhakti can save someone. Because Krishna gets purchased. Now, how can we impress Krishna? No matter how much we learn, can we impress Krishna? No matter how much mystic powers we attain, can we impress the Yogeshwar? No matter how much karma we do, can we really create the universe and impress Krishna? No. Only by bhakti Krishna gets purchased. So, the greatest thing which one can do is to get the attention of Krishna, is to get the attraction of Krishna, is to get the mercy of Krishna. This only the bhakta can do. Therefore, we say that bhakti yoga is higher than karma and jnana and all the other kinds of mystical yoga systems. And finally, Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam samayuktatamo mataha. Amongst all the yogis, amongst the karma yogi, amongst the jnana yogi, amongst the dhyan yogi, amongst the ashtanga yogi, one who always thinks of me, meditates on me, and renders loving devotional service to me, that means the bhakta, is the topmost. This is my opinion. So Krishna, in Krishna's opinion, bhakti yogi is the topmost. Krishna likes the devotees, so therefore they are the highest, and therefore bhakti is higher than that. You can see it for yourself. If somebody is not practicing the path of bhakti, they have no good qualities. You go and see the topmost industrialist or the topmost people who are engaged in karma, or the topmost people who have so much knowledge, or they are armchair philosophers, and go and see all these Babas who are coming to Ganga Sagar Mela. You try to find any good quality in them, you will not be able to find. Because they are hovering on a mental platform. They are serving Maya. They are not serving Krishna. Because it is very simple. It is black and white. Krishna bhuliya jeev bhog vancha kore nikatastha maya jhapatiya dhare. So the moment a living entity, a Jivatma, desires to serve not Krishna but their own senses, he is attacked by Maya. So somebody, all these Garnis, Gyanis and Yogis, they are serving Maya. How can they be superior to a Bhakta who is actually serving Krishna? If you don't serve Krishna, then you'll serve Maya. If you don't serve Maya, then you'll serve Krishna. So only the Bhakta can serve Krishna, so therefore the Bhakta is the highest. And so therefore Bhakti is the highest. The Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakale Ashant, Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Atayev Ashant. So whatever this Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami, whomever you go, they are all Ashant people. They have so much hankering and so much allurements and so much complexities, fear, calculations going on. They are Ashant. Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Atayev Ashant. Because Krishna's devotee has no other desire other than to please Krishna. So he is completely peaceful. So these are the versions and the statements of all the scriptures. Even Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham mad gaten antaratmana. My devotee is the highest. And in the scriptures also we see where Hiranyakashipu was not very less qualified person. Hiranyakashipu was a great jnani, he was a great karmi, he was a great yogi. Prahlad, he had not done any karma or jnana or yoga. But simply because he was a devotee of Krishna, he was higher than Hiranyakashipu. So I hope I have made my point very clear. Okay, so Shashi Mataji, I hope I have answered your question. Thank you very much. Any other question? I think very less time is left. We can't do reading today. Or if we have to do, then we'll do a very short section of some book. So what do you want? Do you have any more questions, or should we read something and wrap up? Please let me know. I'm dependent on your advice. Hare Krishna. Are there any other questions? Do you have any doubts? Okay. Yes. Book reading. Jay Prakash Pandey Prabhu wants book reading. Okay, I'll just see. I'm just trying to think what can we read in 10 minutes which will really boost our morale. Okay, I remember one verse. Tapyanti lokatapena sadhavah prayaso jana. But this is which verse? 7, text 44, Canto 8, 8, 7, 44. Okay. We'll go back to Veda Base. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 7. Lord Shiva saves the universe by drinking poison. Verse number 44. तप्यन्ते लोकतापेन साधवः प्रायशो जनः परमाराधनं तद्धि पुरुषस्याखिलात्मनः. Tapyante, voluntarily suffer. Lokatapena, because of the suffering of the people in general. Sadhavaha, saintly persons. Prayashaha, almost always. Janaha, such persons. Parama aradhanam, the topmost method of worship. Tat, that activity. He, indeed. Purushasya. Are you able to see my screen? No, this is my bad habit. I'm not sharing the screen these days. So this is the verse. He indeed, Purushasya, of the Supreme Person, Akhil Atmanaha, who is the super soul of everyone. Tapyante lokatapena sadhavaha prayasho janaha paramaradhanam tadhi Purushasya Akhilatmanaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is present in everyone's heart. Purport. Here is an explanation of how those engaged in the activities for the welfare of others are quickly recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 18.68 and 69, Ya idam paramam guhyam magbhaktvesho abhidhasyati nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakrittamaha. Krishna says, one who preaches the message of Bhagavad Gita to my devotees is most dear to me. No one can excel him in satisfying me by worship. There are different kinds of welfare activities in the world, but the supreme welfare activity is spreading of Krishna consciousness. I will repeat this line. There are different kinds of welfare activities in this world, but the supreme welfare activity is the spreading of Krishna consciousness. Other welfare activities cannot be effective, for the laws of nature and the results of karma cannot be checked. It is by destiny or by the laws of karma that one must suffer or enjoy. For instance, if one is given a court order, he must accept it, whether it brings suffering or profit. Similarly, everyone is under the obligations of karma and its reactions. No one can change this. Therefore, the Shastra says, Tasyaiva hetoho prayateta kovido na labhyate yad bhramatam. Okay, I don't know how to recite this. Tasyaiva hetoho prayateta kovido na labhyate yad bhramatam uparya adhaha. This is not the full shloka. Let's see the full shloka. What is the full shloka? Tasyaiva hetoho prayatet kovido na labhyate yad bhramatam uparya adhaha tallabhyate dukhavad anayatah sukham kalena sarvatra gabhira ramhasa. Go back to this. One should endeavor for that which is never obtained by wandering up and down the universe as a result of the reactions of karma. What is that? One should endeavor to become Krishna conscious. If one tries to spread Krishna conscious all over the world, he should be understood to be performing the best welfare activity. The Lord is automatically very pleased with him. If the Lord is pleased with him, then what is left for him to achieve? If one has been recognized by the Lord, even if he does not ask the Lord for anything, the Lord who is within everyone supplies him whatever he wants. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshema vahamyaham. Basically, in this verse, Krishna is saying that to my devotees, I carry what they need and I protect what they have. So it is said here again, as stated here, tapyante lokatapena sadhavah prayasho janaha. The best welfare activity is raising people to the platform of Krishna consciousness. Since the conditioned souls are suffering only for the want of Krishna consciousness, the Lord Himself also comes to mitigate the suffering of humanity. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudhanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma santhapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever and wherever there is decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and predominant rise of your religion, at that time I descend myself to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants. As well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. All the Shastras conclude, therefore, that spreading Krishna consciousness movement is the best welfare activity in the world because of the ultimate benefit this bestows upon the people in general. The Lord very quickly recognizes such service performed by a devotee. Translation once again. It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. Now you see, the whole of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, it is filled with such powerful purports. Now, I'm not going to explain this. If I start explaining, it will become a separate class completely. But I will request devotees to type in the chat box some realization which they got after hearing this very, very powerful verse. This is from the Samudra Manthan pastime. Tapyante lokatapena. So, what realization you have had by reading this verse? One point you can kindly type in the chat box. And we'll just take some 4 or 5 points and we will conclude for the day. Please. What did you like in the statements which Prabhupada is making, or in the statements which this verse is making? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Do you like it? Did you understand it? Did you not understand it? Whatever is there in your mind, please share some reflections. Jay Prakash Pandey Prabhu is telling Krishna consciousness is the most supreme quality. Yes. Actually, the central agenda of this verse moves around this point only. But there is something more which was there in the verse. Krishna consciousness is indeed the most supreme quality, but then we have to do something about it. What is that something? Can someone tell me? Highest welfare activity is spreading of Krishna. Yes, this is the central statement of this verse. When one preaches the Bhagavad Gita, such a person has pleased the Lord. I think you can add something, Dakshayani Mataji. Such a person has pleased the Lord, or is there something more to be added? दुनिया में अराजकता फैलेगी तब मैं अवतार लूंगा. ठीक है? This is also said in the purport. If we don't take some stress, Sudha Mataji is telling stress is very necessary. Okay, Sudha Mataji, if we don't take some stress, discomfort, or make some sacrifices, we cannot distribute the love of Godhead to everyone. Actually, Sudha Mataji, you are right. We have to take some stress. But always we have to remember, the root cause of all stress is our own false ego. I repeat, the root cause of all stress is our own false ego. If we are acting as the instruments of the Lord, there is no stress. Of course, there is some voluntary discomfort. You know, one has to sleep late, get up early and all. But one is very blissful. The highest amount of discomfort one may take for the service of Krishna, that becomes the highest bliss of their life. At least in my opinion, Krishna consciousness is very susukham kartum avyayam. It is very joyfully performed. And it's very simple also. It's not easy, but it's very simple. If we have some false ego, then there will be stress. But if we are working on our false ego under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, trying to become an instrument, then Krishna consciousness makes you a free bird. There is no stress anywhere. At least if there is no false ego, then there is definitely no stress. But I agree with the point which you are trying to make, that yes, discomfort, sacrifices, we have to take. If we will not take, then who will take, Baba? That is correct point which you are making. Abhishek Mishra is telling, the soul by default longs for Krishna consciousness, so we should spread it to deliver as many people as possible. Gargi Mataji is telling, only Krishna consciousness can bring the ultimate peace. We must work towards spreading Krishna consciousness. I'm very happy that you are coming with these realizations. These are your realizations, and I want you to work upon it. It is not like we will just have a discussion and then forget about it. No. We all should become preachers of Krishna consciousness. Trust me, when you give something to someone without having an expectation of getting something in return, just like that, you give it to someone. And if that thing is Krishna consciousness, you cannot imagine what you have done. Krishna has an anxiety that how will these souls come ever in the whole eternity? How will they ever come back to me? And if we do something, if we give Krishna consciousness to someone selflessly, just like that, then that reduces the anxiety of Krishna. Can you imagine how much obliged Krishna will become to you? You cannot even imagine that. So therefore, the Bhagavatam says this is the highest way of worshipping Krishna. One can do 10 times arti a day, one can offer gold, one can build temples, whatever. But preaching is the essence. The success the success of all sadhana, the success of all Gita courses, the success of all religious, spiritual activities is preaching. If preaching is not there, something is missing. If preaching is there, then Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that there is no servant who is more dear to me. No, he uses the superlative degree. That no one can please me more than that person who explains the science of Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam to others. Sulbha Parki Mataji is telling, yes. Shashi Pandey Mataji, God takes birth whenever adharma predominates, but the problem is that adharma is not eliminated in totality even after God comes. That is not the case, Mataji. Adharma is see, simply by killing people you cannot eliminate adharma. Krishna consciousness is a very, very voluntary kind of a process. And Krishna is a perfect gentleman. He does not want to take anybody's freedom away. And I have explained repeatedly in the Gita course that adharma is not like Bhaumasura is kidnapping 16,100 princes. He is coming to kill them. Krishna does not need to come for that. Material nature itself is sufficient to kill Bhaumasura. One earthquake, Bhaumasura is dead. One tsunami, one corona, everybody is dead. Why does he need to come? The dharma which he is coming to establish is the dharma of devotional service. He comes to do a propaganda that, see, these are my pastimes. This is how I stay. This is how I live. And this is how I reciprocate with my devotees. Please come back home, back to God. And you as spirit soul are meant to eternally serve in a loving relationship with me. This is the dharma, Sanatan dharma, which Krishna comes to establish. And of course, he attracts few people. And few people, they purposely choose not to get attracted. Krishna gives an equal opportunity to everybody. So we have to be very clear. Krishna is Acyuta, he is infallible. There is nothing which he wants and which he cannot do. Please take a note of this. If Krishna desires that everybody in this universe should go back home, back to Godhead, which he is actually desiring, then it is not possible that it will not happen. But Krishna never takes the free will of anybody, because Krishna doesn't want robots. He wants people to love him. So people willingly choose to stay away from Krishna. And Krishna is like the sun. If I'm not with the sun, then I'm in the darkness. So that is adharma. So because people personally choose not to reciprocate with Krishna, stay away from Krishna, therefore the so-called adharma, the duality exists. Otherwise, it is not possible. It's not, it's technically a little bit incorrect to say that Krishna comes but still adharma. No, what if Krishna will just move his eyebrow and the whole universe will be annihilated? How can we say that adharma is still there? No, Krishna comes for a purpose, and whenever he comes, he is always successful in executing his purpose. And when that purpose is fully executed, he winds up his pastimes and goes away. Dakshani Mataji is telling Lord Sri Krishna that means even distributing Bhagavad Gita books to society, Krishna is pleased by. Yes. Because Srila Prabhupada, who is a pure devotee of Krishna, is very pleased by book distribution. So you can be 250% sure that because his devotee is pleased, so Krishna is also pleased. The Guru Ashtakam, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. When the spiritual master is pleased, Krishna is pleased. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. If he or my spiritual master is not pleased, then Krishna is also not pleased. So, book distribution pleases Srila Prabhupada, so it definitely pleases Krishna also. Krishna consciousness is the ultimate goal. I was able to gift Krishna consciousness and made him chant Mahamantra in his last day. I feel I did a good job. Yes, you did a good job. You actually connected someone in their last days to Krishna consciousness. This is an eternal gift. That is the best thing which a wife can do. That is the best thing. Because of those last days of Krishna consciousness, he has got eternal credit, eternal benefit. And he has got another chance. Bhagavad Gita chapter 6.38 to 45, if you read, it is clearly said that such devotees who have had experience of Krishna consciousness, but due to shortage of time, they were not able to complete. So Krishna gives them full opportunity again. They take birth in a very, very highly pure, clean Brahminical family where their beef is not stuffed into their mouth. They are taught the proper samskaras, and there is a very good chance that they will again get attracted, even without seeking, to the principles of Krishna consciousness. Or else they may get birth in a very high aristocratic family where there is no shortage of roti, kapda, and makan, and they can focus on the higher goals of life. Or they may take birth in the family of a Vaishnava. So I think you did the best which you could. At least you saved someone from degrading into the lower species of life. And it is 100% sure that if he has chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra, shown some respect towards a devotee, at least they have got a human life in their next life. This you can be sure. And at least they have a very, very strong and a fair chance to again become Krishna conscious, which is like the best thing which has ever happened. Let us share Krishna consciousness within all the three gunas. Okay. Sulbha Parki Mataji has got it right. Around 7 to 8 people I talked in the last days suffering with different personal problems. I simply them to chant Hare Krishna. It's working for them. Okay, so thank you for your realizations. I'm very, very happy. Please remember, the best way to worship Krishna is to preach Krishna consciousness. I repeat, the best way to serve Krishna or worship Krishna is to become a preacher. If you have read 2 pages in the Bhagavad Gita, you speak only from those 2 pages and just try to speak with a pure heart. Just act as a messenger. There is a patra and there is a patri. Today I met Patri Prabhu. So patri means a person who is just reading the patra. It is not his job to ensure that the patra evokes happiness or distress in someone. No. So we are just deliverers or messengers of Krishna. We have to just give the message. We should not worry whether that person will become a devotee or not. We have to just touch as many people as possible. That's our job. That's called preaching. Just touch as many people as possible. Krishna is there in your heart. Krishna is there in their heart also. When you give them the transcendental message of Krishna, of Vasudev, then Krishna as Paramatma from within will start doing some reaction. And then sooner or later, either in this lifetime or in the next, or maybe in this lifetime only, Krishna will arrange something for them. You have created the Sukriti in their life by talking to them about the Bhagavad Gita, by giving them the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then slowly, Krishna will do the magic. Please remember, Krishna is the doer. We are just the messengers. So that is called preaching. Preaching means just speak whatever Srila Prabhupada has written in his books. If we can just speak what Srila Prabhupada has written in his books, rest everything is taken care by Krishna and Prabhupada. This is Krishna consciousness. This is preaching. If we can do this, I'm 100% assuring you on behalf of the entire Guru Parampara that you are pleasing Krishna the most. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.